Hey guys, Justin here. Welcome to Iowa. Really exciting race for you here today, so be sure to stick around if you want to see a tire saving line and some crazy racing to go on top of it. The hot lap's going to be on the second lap, so make sure to skip ahead if you're looking for that. And also, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and it would be amazing if we could hit that before I hit 6 months on YouTube, which will be actually at the end of this month. So if we hit that, I think I have a surprise for you guys that you're going to like a lot. And finally, my truck guide video is going to be out tomorrow too. I'm going to be going over qualifying and race line, but maybe not doing a race. I'm incredibly busy this week. But anyways, let's get right to the
Honestly,
lap.
the windows being open didn't even help because it was still like 84 outside at night.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was like here last week.
This winter wasn't too bad though, was it?
No, I think we had like one ice storm.
24.367.
Damn, I wonder if you could like, if that bump wasn't there, if the full top would be viable. I'm in the wall. Wow, shifting down to park my car and I'm looking left for some reason. Stupid ass.
23.585.
Oh Lord, I am off, man.
Alright, let's take a look at that lap. So Windows did an update, and of course it made things worse, so this bar blocks the outputs or the inputs a lot of the time, but I'll do my best to keep them visible for you guys when possible. So we're gonna go into 3 here, and you can see that I'm doing the high line to get momentum, and you can do it as high as this, but you also can do it along the seam. I kind of like arcing down as I go along because it helps me stay off the wall. So if you can get the car a little bit loose and then go down the track, then that's how I like to get that setup going. All right, now here you can see that we're getting a little loose off the corner here, and we're coming to the start-finish line, and it's a little bit loose, but we're keeping up a lot of momentum here. So okay, let's skip ahead to the turn 1. So turn 1, it's going to be along the top, but here's the thing. Around here up top, there's going to be these little bumps, and you don't want to hit this. But you want to get as close to hitting those bumps as possible to get a favorable angle to get along the second seam here. So you want to end up with a line that starts from the wall arcing and then arcs between the bumps and down to the first or the second seam there at your apex and kind of hook the car around the top. So let's see how that works out here. So you see I barely missed those bumps, and then you get your lefts on the seam, use it for rotation, and you see I'm only 3/4 throttle here. You just got to make sure you don't put too much in it, and then straighten the car out once you get off the corner. All right, let's take a look at that one more time even. So we entered the corner, and you see that we're going to be apexing with our lefts right below the seam, and this helps with a little extra rotation. If you take it too low, you're going to get too loose and you're going to lose a lot of speed. And if you take it too high, you're going to get tight and you're going to have to check up a bit. So you want to just clip this area right here, right below the seam here, and you're going to get rotation, but not too much rotation. So you see there, it helps me kind of hook my car, and I'm still only at 2/3 throttle, and then I push it up to full throttle and drive it up to the wall. Okay, let's take a look at 3 and 4. So 3 and 4, it's going to be the same idea, but there's no bumps to worry about now. So I just like, some people like going right along the wall. I don't think that's particularly faster, and I think it's risky. So what I like to do is I like to start at the wall and just same idea, arc it into the seam, but you can do a little bit wider of an arc here because you don't have those bumps to miss. So because we're doing a wider arc, you can see I'm kind of whipping the car a little more into the corner. I'm getting a little looser, and I'm still getting that seam cut. And it's just really useful to get your lefts on that seam. And be able to just keep on the throttle really early and able to get off of there and bring it all the way back to the finish line. All right, so let's take a look at the race. All right, and now we're getting to the race, and finally, after all these weeks, I actually get a win in the strength of field top split race. Feels good. So let's see how it happened. Let's see what we did. All right, so we started third here, so we didn't even get the pole. So we had some work to do. And so off the start, get a little jump, but just barely didn't get clear of the 7. So I eventually slotted back in. And so we're going for an interesting line here. Let me go a few laps ahead where I have some room. Okay, well, first off, we went for this crazy move, okay? So I do not recommend this move particularly, but I just had to see if it would work, and it somehow worked. We went for a slide job, which was absolutely nuts. I don't recommend this. It was Christopher here gave me a lot of leeway with that move. I mean, I was clear enough, but this is a crazy move. So I don't particularly recommend that, because you are trusting the person behind you to not take you out, because it is well within their right to get in the back of you after a slide job. So it's cool because it worked, but I don't particularly recommend it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead here a couple laps, and we'll show my saving line here if I'm inside the cockpit. So we're doing a very different line than we did in qualifying. So what we're doing is we're getting hard on the brake, and we're using the brake with a low brake bias. I turned it down to 57% for this race. And with the brake bias, it turns the car down the hill a bit so that I can put less wheel input into it. If I just turned the car down the hill without the brake, I would have probably had the orange over here. But because I'm helping it out with the brake, it's still jacking down a lot, but it's not a sustained turn as much. So you're going to be saving tires while also keeping some speed. And so once you get on the gas, the big importance here is that when you're back on the gas, you want to get on the gas so that you don't have to turn any farther to the left. So I have my point that I'm at, and then once I step on the gas, this actually should loosen up the car if you time your inputs correctly. So the timing will look a bit like this. Yeah, so that's perfect. And then we can just drive pretty much full throttle off the corner, like that. So this is very, very important, because this is the line that I found that you can be fast and save tires in, and it's in 1 and 2 specifically, not 3 and 4. So the main factor here is that you want to wait on the car until it jolts a bit down the hill on its own. So you feel like you want to gas up, even right here. You're like, I want to gas up, I want to gas up, I want to gas up. Okay, right there, did you see that? You can kind of see it in the slow motion. Look at this marker right here, and look at how my car is in relation to it. There's a point where the weight shifts a little bit. Do you see that? So it's kind of going down, but then it starts an even bigger turn right there, and that's when I pick the throttle up. You see that? And when I do that, at that moment, the car is getting loose. And when the car is getting loose, then that means I can full throttle all the way off the corner and not wear my right front. All right, perfect. So let's now that we have that down, we're going into 3 and 4. And at 3 and 4, I'm going to be doing just a normal high line, but I'm not going all the way to the wall. I like this seam line better, because I don't know if doing the wall helps you at all. And I like using the seam as a crutch to get my car loose when I'm not able to get it loose by myself. So you see, I'm able to hold a lot less wheel in this corner. And I'm using the throttle, I'm modulating it, trying to get the car loose. We'll do another lap. And I can even drop it down onto the seam to get more rotation. So that's another little hack there. If you can get your lefts barely on the seam, you'll get some extra rotation off the corner. Just don't take too much of it though. Alright, now let's take a look at the exciting part. Because those are the race lines, and really those were the race lines I did for the entire race, and it's just you back up your corners and you wait a little longer the longer it gets. So it gets a little spicy here. So I decide that I'm getting too much pressure on my back, and I'm a little bit faster than the guy in front of me. So I decide to go low here to block the other guy trying to go low on me. And then that kind of crunches me off the corner, because I just didn't he didn't get clear of me. So I could have slotted back in there, but I wasn't sure how it was going. He washes up a little bit. I could slide, I can do it. I could do it. No, I decided to back out. I was like, okay, I've learned my lesson before. I'm gonna give him room. So I gave him room, made a tiny bit of contact, no harm, no foul. But now we're 3 wide. So how's 3 wide gonna work here? Well, I back out, that's how it works. But I try to cross over his slide job, and now they make a little contact because those slide jobs are ridiculous. Now I'm on the bottom. Now what do? Slide jobs don't work. What the heck am I gonna do? I try to gas it up. Again, we're still 3 wide. He gets clear. And then I'm losing my momentum running on the bottom. Andrew cuts me a break here. I don't think he should have. I think he should have taken that, but a friend of mine, Andrew, always talk to him before races. If you're watching this, take that next time. You won't hurt my feelings, I promise you. So we're back in 3rd. And so how the heck are we going to make this pass, right? So we're all faster than the leader right now. He was trying some stuff with different tire saving lines that just didn't unfortunately end up working out for him. So we're just going our ways. Just the slide job just barely doesn't work. And it just like him for us. And it's just, how do you pass here? So finally he mega slide jobs. I see it. And we're able to freight train him, and I'm able to take 2nd back. But because he's not used to that entry, I could have gotten dumped there for sliding in front of him. We're all giving each other a lot of room. I'm doing a lot of taking here. I'm not going to lie. But that's what it takes with this sort of racing sometimes. So finally, I get the slide job. He crosses over. I know I have it here. Because if you're even going into the corner with a guy on worse tires than you, all you got to do is pinch a tiny bit, and he cannot clear us. And so with that, we're able to drive away, and we drag our friend the 10 with us. So, and that's how it goes. And so here on out for the next half of the race, I'm on damaged tires because of all that racing, but we manage it with our racing line. Andrew here, he had better tires than us because he was chilling that whole time. But we just do our normal saving line, and let's see what it looks like at the end of the race. So a couple laps from the end, we're running good laps still. Let's take a lap at the end of the race, how the tires look. So you see, I'm slowing it down a lot more, but I really want that straight shot exit. I prioritize that straight shot exit, even if it means parking my car in the middle of the corner. And then here, still using the seam for rotation, really relying on it because the car's getting tight and burned the right front of it. And then last couple laps here. And prioritize the straight shot exit. Burn all the tire you can now. There's only 2 laps left. And I mean, it's going to be a little sketchier, but that's okay. And finally, 3 and 4 here, same idea. And we cross the finish line for the win. And that's my highest strength of field win ever, actually, 4,200. And we celebrate that sucker with a little burnout. And then our friend in the Discord we hang out with for these races, Jack, he's going to come along here, and we're going to do a nice little twin celebration here. And that's how we finish off the race. So super successful week, super proud of how I ran that race. I'm sure other people will get a little faster, but anyways, I'm really looking forward to trying this race, and hopefully you guys should too. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all on the track.